Assume there's a currency collapse. And in a currency collapse, people go and buy basic necessities as fast as they can, not because they necessarily need these basic necessities immediately, but they fear that if they wait any longer, they won't be able to afford them because the money substitute is dying. In that event, why would people buy silver? Hey guys, Rafi here from the Endgame Investor coming at you with this week's silver report for Arcadia Economics. And we have some fun news about silver yet again from Israel. Another silver cache has been discovered off the coast of Caesarea. And from there, we will get into the markets this week, and it's going to be a fun one. This is from the Times of Israel. The reason I'm showing you a PowerPoint slide of it instead is because I don't want to support the website because they are a propaganda arm. But anyway, they sometimes do cover actual news, and this is actual news. Another silver cache found off the coast of Israel in Caesarea. Article says the wrecked hulls of 2 ships and their cargoes were discovered scattered just 4 meters underwater, said the Israel Antiquities Authority. The treasure discovered included hundreds of silver and bronze Roman coins from the mid-3rd century CE and a large hoard of silver coins from the Mamluk period. Archaeologists also discovered a bronze figurine in the form of an eagle, numerous bronze bells, pottery vessels, and a large iron anchor, showing once again that if you swim off the coast of old civilizations, you'll find some money and you'll have a good time. Anyway, what is happening with silver this week? Let's move to Turkey. You may have been following what's going on in Turkey, and I've covered it here a few weeks ago. Turkey, the currency, is going into full-blown hyperinflation mode. They were able to save it for a few days by guaranteeing any losses on the government's balance sheet. So basically, taxpayers are going to pay for speculators who bet on the lira and lose, which is going to drain Turkey even more money faster, but it gives a little bit of a reprieve to the currency for, I don't know, a few days or a week. But anyway, there's often a question, why in times of hyperinflation or currency collapse should someone go to gold or silver, primarily silver for the public? Why not real estate? The basic logical answer is that a currency collapse is a scramble for money, and people need everything to survive. They need a lot of stuff. They need food, they need water, they do need real estate, they need shelter, they need clothing, they need whatever they need, but it's not just housing, but money can give you access to everything because a money economy divides labor. So why money? Why gold and silver and not necessarily housing? Because money is much more marketable than housing, because everybody needs money, but not everybody needs housing because some people already have houses. But anyway, if we look at the Turkish housing index from January 2020, we see here on the left side, January 2020, the index is 120.9. And I know this is not exact, but this is what we have. Now, October 2021, the index is 209.9. So in total, from January 2020 to October 2021, the last reading, Turkish housing index is up 75%. Isn't that amazing? In Turkish lira, your house value is up about 75%. Yay for you, Turkish house owner. What about silver in lira? On the same time frame, January 2020 to now, silver is up 250% in lira. So 75% versus 250%. That's a big difference. You want money in a time of currency collapse with which you can buy real estate if that is what you need. But when currency collapses, you move to money. That is the inflation hedge, because money is uninflated money. Remember, gold and silver are money. Silver is money for the public. Gold is money for banks and big players. It's not that silver is an inflation hedge, quote unquote, as much as it is money that is simply not inflated, and therefore it can function as an inflation hedge. Now I wanted to go into more technical aspects of what has happened this week, not necessarily just this week, but here we have a very, very long-term chart of the gold to silver ratio. And we see something quite interesting that has been in play since around 1987. See here, around 1987, we have a long-term resistance line at 80 silver to gold. Here in 1987 it is hit, and only twice since 1970 has this gold-silver ratio traded consistently above 80 for more than a year at a time. And that was from 1991 to 1993 when silver hit its all-time low. And from 2018 until 2020, just recently. All other times since the gold window was closed in 1971, the 80 range for the gold to silver ratio has hit 80 and fallen from there. 1994 looks like, 1996, we have 2004, 2009, this is the peak of the financial crisis when silver crashed, 2016, 2015, 2016, bear market bottom in gold and silver. And we are hitting that again here at 80. Are we going to trade above it consistently? Judging by recent history since 1971, past 50 years, no, we're not. Silver is the metal to buy if you're buying precious metals at this time. Gold secondarily, but silver is your metal. I want to shift attention to what is happening in Europe. We're hearing about a nascent European energy crisis, which is getting much worse as I say this. It's getting very extreme, and I will get into those charts in a minute. Here you see the Euro area consumer price inflation rate, and I got this from tradingeconomics.com. Not necessarily the level, which is around 5%, but the speed of its ascent is much faster than at any time since the euro was invented in the 90s. But now, watch this, we're going to get into something very serious here. Here we have euro area producer price inflation. How much are producers paying to produce the goods that they produce? And here we see we are in a way beyond record zone at about 22% producer price inflation. And the problem is when producer prices spike 22%, but consumer prices only rise 5% or so, that means that producers are going to go bankrupt as they cannot make money on those margins. If their costs are going up 4 times as fast as the prices they sell them for, you know, things are going to start going bankrupt. And then you will have less supply with the same amount of demand for basic needs like food, and then food prices go up. And I want to show you another reason why food prices specifically are about to go way higher in Europe with this producer price inflation already at a scary 22.5%. Now, we have a European energy crisis in progress. And really, this is not an energy supply problem. This is a money problem. When you print trillions of euros or dollars or whatever unit of currency you're talking about, and you print it too fast for the economy to digest it, then you are going to have shortages, which are really an expression of an excess of monetary units. And that is what money printing does every single time. So here you have a tweet by Javier Blas, who's the chief energy correspondent of Bloomberg, says, this is on December 20th, day ahead electricity prices across much of Europe set fresh and frightening record highs. Germany jumps to an incredible $431 per megawatt hour. Now here's the key. At current prices, energy-intensive industries will rather shut down and resell their power on the spot market. So it makes sense at these prices for energy-intensive industries to stop producing whatever it is they produce and sell their energy at the spot market, because they're going to produce their stuff, whatever it is that they produce, at a loss, whereas they can sell their power at a profit because they bought it for cheaper than that. Now, I did some very intensive, energy-intensive research, and I Googled top energy-intensive industries. You see here where my arrow is circling. I just went to Google and I just Googled those words. And the first result that I got says the following. The following industries are considered to be energy-intensive: food, pulp and paper, basic chemicals, refining, iron and steel, non-ferrous metals, primary aluminum, and non-metallic minerals, primarily cement. So here we have food, and by food, that means retail, because it doesn't mean producing food, it means producing retail food from the wholesale level. We have basic chemicals like ammonia, that has to do with fertilizer and producing food. So you got food being squeezed from the retail level and back from the production level, from the basic materials level of growing the stuff. Food prices in Europe are about to skyrocket because food production is going to have to shut down parts of it in favor of electricity being supplied to homes that need heating for the winter. And to end this week's silver report, I wanted to go into a little bit of basic theory here. You can ask a question. Assume there's a currency collapse, and in a currency collapse, people go and buy basic necessities as fast as they can, not because they necessarily need these basic necessities immediately, but they fear that if they wait any longer, they won't be able to afford them because the money substitute is dying. In that event, why would people buy silver? Why would the average guy in the street, I'm not talking about the average billionaire in the street that controls the World Economic Forum, I'm talking about the average guy, meaning the billions of us in the street, that in a time of currency collapse, why would we go after a shiny coin that you can't eat? That's the question I hear so many times from people who don't understand the gold and silver movements. And the answer is, when you see your savings are evaporating and everything that you've worked for your entire life is about to blow away in a puff of smoke, your mind is going to rewire itself. And you are going to think, what can stop this? What can stop this process? What can help me keep value on my name, on my property, and keep me from losing everything that I have? Food, yeah, if you have enough food for your family, then you're fine. Shelter, you're not going to go buying houses when you're in a panic. When people are in a panic, when the public is in a panic, they will do what people have done for thousands of years, and they will go straight to money. Monetary economics has been in our psyche for the last 10,000 years at least. It's part of our evolution that when we panic, we move to silver. That's how it always has been, and that's how it always will be. And if you want to say that modern man doesn't act that way, just look at what happened in 2011 when the dollar was at an all-time low. Look at what happened in 1980. 1980, we can't exactly say that we were much less evolved than we are now. We are the same species, the same psychology, that do the same behaviors, just with different technology. And this time will not be any different. So if you have your doubts, you should. Those are normal emotions. But when those doubts arise, remember history. Remember what we are. We are monetary beings. We divide our labor. That's how we function. And the material that helps divide labor the best for the public is silver, and that has never changed. This is Rafi, Endgame Investor, coming at you with this week's silver report. I hope you guys have a great week.
Well, thank you, Rafi, as always, for this week's The Endgame Investor Silver Report on the Arcadia Silver Network. Sure appreciate your thoughts on what's going on in the silver market. I personally think we're getting close to some sort of resolution, but it's really great to have the technical perspective as well. So thank you again. And also thank you to BlackRock Silver and Andrew Pollard for sponsoring today's episode. And a quick note about BlackRock as they stepped out 275 meters, drilled 864 grams per ton silver equivalent over 1.1 meters. And the full press release of the latest update from Andrew and BlackRock in the Tonopah West District, same district as Galen of Suma Silver, who you saw recently on the show. So you can read the details. That's in the description field below. You can just click on the link there. So thank you, Andrew. And with that said, I appreciate everybody being here tonight, and I will see you again soon.